Hi, this is Mark Wade from CenterCityCondos.com at Berkshire Hathaway Fox and Roach Realtors. And in this short podcast, I'd like to talk to you about what I know, what I've experienced, and what I believe to be true and correct about the condominiums at 2200 Arch Street here in beautiful downtown Philadelphia. Okay, so here it goes like this. The building was probably built in the early 1900s. It was the old Philadelphia news building. It sat vacant for a whole lot of years, and it was really not a very pretty sight to look at. And then a developer came along and bought the building and rehabbed it into condominiums. The first occupants moved into the building around 2006. The building itself holds 176 condominiums, and what's interesting about it is that a majority of the units there have an open loft floor plan, which means very high ceilings, exposed ductwork, large windows. Some units have exposed brick. Really soaring open spaces. The attraction here is room size, not room count, but room size. That's a lot of way lofts are just organized. What can I tell you? Floors. The building itself has a gym. Almost all units, if not every unit there, has a parking spot. Values. Okay, so there are four different views, of course. The eastern view is stunning because you're looking at downtown, the skyline. The western view is nice because you're looking at University City and the new skyline there. Southern view is very nice because you've got nice light and you look over the city. Northern view, absolutely nothing wrong with that. I would suggest if you're northern view, you want to be on a little higher floor just to clear 2201 arch, the arches across the street. The penthouse level up on 12 is interesting because they're all bi-level units and they all have this just kick-ass roof deck. With a lot of them, I mean, they're very large roof decks. Each penthouse has its private roof deck, and a lot of them have hot tubs up there. I mean, it's just, if you're looking to really have phenomenal outside space in a large condominium here in Center City with parking, especially in the 19103 zip code, which is, in my opinion, our strongest zip codes in terms of demand, value, retention, then you want to look at 2200 Arch. I've sold one of the penthouses there, and I think my folks really like it. It's a great place, and that just the abundance of natural light that comes in because the scale of the windows are phenomenal. I mean, the windows, you've got 20 feet a width of windows that sometimes stretch 8-9 feet tall, and that's not just the penthouses. That's almost all the units in the building. A lot of the, I've seen a couple units where you go in and the floors are cement, polished cement, which is kind of nice. Most of them have a hardwood floor to them. A lot of them are set up as, like the one bedrooms are an open loft concept where the bedroom has like a half wall. So it looks down onto the living area, so you don't have that privacy issue because a lot of the way you set up when you go into an old building that's 100 years old that was built for some other purpose than residential, and then it gets turned into residential, the layout is catch as catch can. So a lot of the units do have that loft kind of open bedroom for the one bedrooms anyway, for that open loft feel. Some of the two bedrooms are set up that way also. But it's really kind of hip, groovy living space with parking in the 19103 zip code, which is that's a tough 1-2 punch because there are not a lot of similar buildings. If we look at our inventory west of Broad Street, especially in the 19103 zip code, Fitler Square, Rittenhouse Square, down to the Schuylkill, you're not going to find a lot of loft-styled buildings. They're very, very rare. Okay, so each unit here has its own HVAC system with, of course, central air, hot water tank. This is a pet-friendly building. The total of, I think I said 171 units. I've sold a number of units in this building, and it seems to be very popular with a lot of my buyers just because of the location and what you get for your money and the open airy space, nice light, all that kind of stuff. The proximity to University of Pennsylvania does not hurt in any way, shape, or form in terms of value, demand, value retention. The proximity to Penn is a real plus. And of course, you're really close to the Schuylkill River jogging trail, which is just phenomenal. If you've never been there on a weekend, on a nice Saturday or Sunday, go to the Schuylkill River jogging trail and tell me that you don't want to live in that neighborhood because that's silly. I mean, there's no excuse not to be outside at all times, if you're on this side of town. I would compare this building. I think it's very similar to 1027 Arch Street condominiums, not necessarily in location, but as far as design, layout, fit and finish. I think 1027 Arch is your closest competition there. If you're looking strictly for in this zip code, I would suggest the closest competition you're going to find are those condominiums at 251 South 24th Street. However, there's only about 10, 15, 18 units in that building, and they rarely come available for sale. But they are deep in 19103 zip code, and they all are kind of lofty with parking. So there you go. Anyway, so this is Mark Wade. A couple more things real quick. It is a 24-hour doorman building. There's a nice little market in the building that you can get to without having to go outside. It's a real convenience when when it's 9 o'clock at night and you need a Mountain Dew. It's very nice to have a convenience like that in your building. Very nice. Live in Center City for a while, and when you decide that, or when you find that you have a little bodega in your building, it's a real plus. And of course, Trader Joe's is a block and a half away. So anyway, you need one of those granny carts. You're not going to be driving to Trader Joe's. You walk down the street with pulling one of those granny carts behind you. You fill it with groceries, and so there you go. This is Mark Wade lathering on and on about 2200 Arch Street in the Rittenhouse, kind of Logan Square area of Center City, 19103 zip code. Parking, beautiful units, nice fit and finish, and there you go. And I've always thought these units have sold well, regardless of the market conditions. The 2200 Arch generally sells well, just due to the lack of substitutability. So anyway, that's it. Thank you very much. Questions, comments, or concerns, you pick up the telephone, you push the buttons on the front of it, 215-521-1523. Thank you.